Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to Geek Chess. My name's Steve.
And my name is Arnaz.
And today we're going to go over my top 10 because we didn't have an anime to do yet. So, here's my top 10 animes of all time.
All time?
All time. Do I have an honorable mention? I guess, if I had to say I had an honorable mention that isn't like an anime movie.
Lupin the Turd.
The Turd. Lupin the Turd.
The Turd.
Actually, I would have to say it's Outlaw Star. If I had to pick one anime that is in my top 10 that I really enjoyed. Because I remember coming home, it's one of these animes that I used to play on Toonami way back then, which is actually part of my list. You know, Toonami was like the best thing ever. It's like the anime block or Cartoon Network in the afternoon. Came out like right after school.
It's the only reason why I ran from the bus stop to home. Turn on TV and watch Toonami.
I was going to say, he was failing me if he's never seen it. But yeah, I remember it was one of the animes I was just super excited about coming home and watching it. Because I loved all the characters on it. Like, the plot was actually pretty interesting. It was even a little bit different because it's more of like a, kind of like a, I don't want to say super different because it's more like Space Cowboys. For the most part. Bebop? Yeah, or Trigun, in the same vein. Yeah. Where they're bounty hunters and pretty much just like,
I'm surprised Cowboy Bebop is not one of your honorable mentions.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just kind of short and a little,
But it's what I like about most of the animes is when they're short like that, at least they finish it. I don't have to sit there and watch 3 seasons of filler. Naruto.
Yeah, but at least all the stars only like I don't even think it's 30 episodes. It has a nice like the plot actually ends.
Yeah, I don't remember to be honest.
It even has the infamous scene episode that they couldn't even air on Cartoon Network where they go to the swimsuit planet. Where they go like to bathe and everything. And it's just like, I don't know why this wasn't here. And it's funny too because it's like one of the key episodes were was it Gene? Is his name? Where he had to get like the caster rounds to beat the final guy, and it was actually on that planet. But you never actually got to see it, so it was like, how would he get those?
It was just.
But for the most part, it was just like I loved everybody in it. Like Aisha Clan was awesome as well. Oh, Charles, man, Charles.
That's a pretty good choice, actually.
Yeah, and then my
pull that phone out, Steve. You need that list.
We got a list. I'm being professional. If my phone won't unlock. Alright, so my number 10 anime is Tenchi Muyo. And I'm only going to mainly pick the earlier Tenchi Muyos.
Hey, I was about to say, time out. Which ones?
Mainly the original OVA, Tenchi Universe, and Tenchi in Tokyo.
Is it sad that I personally think that OVA is better than the actual?
The OVA is actually really good. It's also pretty short compared to the other ones. Like, Universe is a little bit longer, but it actually has a little bit more of an in-depth plot than the OVA did. Because the OVA started, like, really strong, and then it just kind of became like new like things of the week. Where like, oh, this week we're gonna babysit a kid or something like, whatever. But the art style is so good in those. Again, love all the characters, loved all the girls. Like it was like the first anime I watched like a bunch of like girls that like the one guy. It's the first one I ever watched, and it was just
every single anime now.
Yeah, like a lot of the ones I watch nowadays. But it was just like really interesting because not a lot of the girls were like full blown like take me, except for like, Ryoko.
Right there, take me.
Yeah. Well, like, pretty much everybody I enjoyed.
No, that's pretty good choice, I guess.
Yeah, Universe was cool. Tenchi Tokyo was actually really surprisingly well as well.
Be careful.
The art style is a little weird, but compared to the other two, because the other two are pretty much traditional Tenchi looking, the Tokyo kind of changed a little bit of the art style. But I still liked it, and even the introduction of the new characters were awesome as well.
Be careful how far you go with this list.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into like GXP because that show's rubbish. Like,
what was he rubbish. Like a space cop or something like that?
Yeah, it was like his cousin. It was horrible. The Ryo-Oki wasn't so bad though.
The new one was. I watched it. It was.
It was nice. It was short. Probably the nicest thing about it. All right, my number 9 anime is G Gundam, which I wanted to put it higher on the list, but I realize that it's not the best Gundam in terms of story or plot. It's just the one that I enjoy watching the most.
Steve. Thank you for saying that.
Like Gundam Wing probably should be here, but it's just I love the G Gundam. Like all the Gundams are cool. Like there's a nice differentiation between all the Gundams. Yeah, Shining Finger.
The anime is only.
It had a Gundam with a windmill.
It is only cool if you yell out your specialty that you're going to do.
Yeah, it's pretty much my prerequisites for a fighting anime. For it to be awesome is one, the character either when he gets more powerful either has some colors have to change, or his hair
Dragon
has
Ball
to
Z.
grow. Like Dragon Ball Z, Yu Hakusho. Or they have to state their names of the move when they go to actually do it.
Ah, that's what Yushio Toro is missing, stating the moves when they do.
Yeah, he's not like, Beast Spear, or he like yells when he does the electric. Still awesome anime, but just G Gundam was like, characters are pretty interesting throughout the majority of it. Like, a lot of them are very stereotypical, but it still works for the settings. Especially with the Gundams, also very stereotypical for the actual countries. But it was just cool.
What year was that made in, Steve? Or
God, I don't even remember. I know it's like it's a little older.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why it's stereotype.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. It even had like a nice twist in the anime too, which...
M. Night Shyamalan directed this?
Nah, because you actually kind of... The twist... I just wanted to say, the twist wasn't as noticeable as in the M. Night Shyamalan. But... It was still cool. Like, it was a little bit different from back in the day. And it's definitely very refreshing for the giant robot genre.
Yeah, actually, that was...
for me, anyways. Because I initially started, like, Gundam Wing, a little bit more of the more serious mecha animes. And this is just full-blown, just good times.
I can't remember which one it is, but I think mine's either Gundam Zero or Gundam C. I can't remember.
No, Gundam, what was it? DSD? Or Super Deformed? Gundam SD.
Somebody please hit this guy.
That was awesome. Number 8, Full Metal Alchemist. I'm going to pick the original Full Metal Alchemist over Brotherhood. I watched both of them, and Full Metal I actually pretty much watched whenever they were putting out the DVDs at the time, which I remember those things being like $30 a DVD.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And then Brotherhood, I got super sick, and I watched the entire show when I was off work for 3 days. But I mainly liked the original Full Metal Alchemist because I just thought the plot... Even though it goes away from the manga, I actually still really liked it. And a lot of the characters were a little bit more impactful in that, because actually I got to spend a little bit more time on certain sections. Like with Major Hughes, which actually in the original made me super teary. And then, yep, we have Mustang.
Can't forget Mustang, my favorite guy. He's like...
Which actually, he had more of a central... He was a little bit more important in the Brotherhood.
Yeah, he was.
Which I like them both pretty evenly. It's just... Full Metal Alchemist, the original, kind of takes the cake a little bit just because I got a little bit more emotional with it.
It was more
like investing. With Hughes, like if you guys have seen the anime with Hughes, what happens with him, it was just like tears, man.
When he forms the dog and a girl.
Oh yeah. Oh god, the memes. The memes are amazing for that one. Ohana means family.
Oh god. Let's
But the art style's great, character's great. Alex Louise Armstrong. Just everything will be better. Just look at my biceps.
Just felt like he was Scott Steiner.
Oh god, that guy's amazing. Like the English dub, I prefer way over the Japanese.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's so good. And then for my number 7, which is where the list got kind of hard to do, like in terms of structuring it, I'm gonna put Kill la Kill here. Mainly because a lot of the other animes, just there's certain things about it that I could come back to a lot sooner. And also, this is ranked more on... I know Arnett stated how long he could binge watch these things for. Mine's how... Like, if I seen an action figure, how hardcore I would be buying them.
Steve, how much did we pre-order that figure for?
Yeah, so far I got more into Kill la Kill than definitely my some of my higher up ones. But that's because they've been putting more out as recently. Like, some of these other ones higher up, the figures are a little bit older, a little bit harder to come by. I'm not as big of a fan of ordering stuff as some other people. Like, I like to find the toys. It's just me. But for Kill la Kill, the plot is amazing. I love how fast-paced the anime is. The characters are all super diverse and awesome. Like, just nudist beach. Like, again, if you guys have seen a review,
it'll be here somewhere.
Right up here.
You gotta watch it.
But I love this anime, especially since I've done some other action figure reviews for this anime too. Like, it's just, the art style is awesome. Characters look great in this as well. Like, everybody has their own, like, distinguishing features.
I gotta wait to see your list.
And the plot's is awesome too.
Gotta see why did it lose 2 spots from my 5 to your 7.
Because number 6 is Parasite. Which, again, it was hard because I love Parasite the maximum. It's definitely probably... I would say my new favorite anime.
What?
But...
Don't
interrupt me.
We're at number 6. And why I shouldn't be punching you in your face right now. Explain how Parasite, which, by the way, is amazing, is better than Kill la Kill.
Alright, so...
You have to explain this to me.
Reason why I would pick Parasite over Kill la Kill.
Eye connection here.
I'm watching you. All right, so the main reason is I like the art style a little bit more in Parasite the Maxim.
Did you see the manga?
We're talking about purely anime.
Did you?
I've seen it. It doesn't matter because the anime, the story is a little bit more interesting to me than Kill la Kill. Because Kill la Kill is a little bit more like fun, fast paced, while Parasite definitely focuses on what's happening.
The thing that kept it amazing was the comedy parts in.
And Parasite has them too with Migi.
Like 3 parts where he's like, man, I need to jerk you off in this public bathroom right now. Again,
hilarious. And I love the interactions with him with everybody
better.
else, especially with his girlfriend of the film, which her name slips my mind. But it's just like the interaction like with them was interesting. The fight scenes are awesome. Like I actually enjoy the fight scenes personally a little bit more in Parasite. Even though it's not as like over the top as say Kill la Kill, it's a little bit more personal with the fight scenes.
The geek chest is splitting in 2 after this.
I'm sorry.
Acceptable.
But it's just I personally I like darker anime a little bit more.
This is
like it's just something I can definitely follow a little bit more. Like I do love me some lighthearted animes, but the ones that I will definitely come back to more often are definitely the ones that are a little bit more of a darker tone. These are the ones I like to show off a little bit more to people. It's hard to explain because again, Kill la Kill's super fun, but Parasite the story just kept me way more involved.
I hate this guy.
And this list could fluctuate, whatever. But anyways, my number 5 is Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I've heard of it.
Because he fails me.
No. I just know good animes when I see him.
What's wrong with Neon Genesis? Absolutely nothing. Even though the ending is confusing as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
But they at least finished the movie.
Takes 3 movies
2,
to explain to
and
me
only
what's going
one
on.
movie was only there to help bring you up to speed so you didn't have to watch the entire show to watch the next movie.
So you're telling me all I have to do was just buy the movie and skip the entire anime and I'll be fine.
Just like half the animes we've ever watched and loved. It's definitely one of the first more adult animes I've ever watched.
It was okay. Like it's not like something like I was gonna go watch this all day today, bench watch it. It's like I could watch 2 episodes and it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? You know,
how's my phone doing?
Yeah,
today? Because initially I watched this a long time ago. It was high school I started watching this because I got really into Toonami at the time, and then my friend at the time, John, which he ended up joining the military and kind of lost contact with. But he actually was into anime a lot more than I was. He's like, hey, you should definitely check out, if you like Gundam Wing, you might like Evangelion. And it was probably the best advice that guy could have ever given me. Because Evangelion is awesome looking anime. Fight scenes are interesting. It has a pretty heavy Christian theme to it. Because a lot of it, it's very religious throughout the entirety of it. But that's what I always thought was super interesting about it. It was just, they could take like a spin on that genre and toss it in with mechs.
Wait, isn't there a bunch of other animes that have the same concept though?
Not in the same vein. At least that I've seen. Like, there's some other weirder ones. But usually they're not like super, they don't go full on into the religion that I know.
High School DxD? That was my number 5. It was very religious. There's the demons and
yeah, but that's like, they're just like taking like certain elements. It's not like literally the apocalypse is happening, like the Bible end of days. And it's their own spin on it. And even like the monsters they fight are called angels, and they're named after like actual like angels from the Bible and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure the main character dies in High School of Death by fallen angel. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's a totally different scenario.
Oh, it wasn't? Just the angel.
And it's just like the anime's so like, especially at the time, it was very different, and it's a weird show. Because weird in a good way, because it's not like your standard like that kind of anime, where it's more about the characters inside of the suits.
They still did have robots though. That's what it had for it.
Yeah, like the robots are sweet, robot fight scenes are sweet, but it's more like the interaction and like them questioning themselves and more of like their journey along this path.
Number 4, please.
And the movies are sweet too. Like I really like the movies for this. Even the newer ones, the Rebirth, are actually really good as well. I haven't
Didn't
seen the
see it.
third one yet,
I haven't seen it.
which I've heard things, and I'm hoping it's not quite what I've heard. But the first two are definitely sweet.
I haven't seen the newer ones, to be honest with you.
New one's really good. They actually make a little more sense than the original did.
That's one thing about that show. It just made no confusion.
Yeah, it's mainly the end. It was just like when everybody's saying goodbye, and you're like, why are we saying goodbye? Don't leave me. All right, now, Ernest might be a little bit upset for me at me, but my number 4 is Dragon Ball Z.
You know, I'm just not going to say anything. It's just one of those situations.
Because it's one of those animes, I wanted to actually put it lower.
Motherfucker.
But I realized how much Dragon Ball Z has impacted my life. Especially my anime, because it's actually probably the first anime I really, really got into. Just because the fight scenes are awesome. I know all the characters by heart, their names, the entire show.
At our age group, Steve, you ask what was the first anime you watched? What was the anime that started it for you? 90% of people will say Dragon Ball Z.
Which is correct. Which is funny, because we used to own a lot more action figures for that, but I ended up having to sell a lot of them off. Which made me sad, which is why we're starting to get some of the figure arts ones that I can pick up. Like, some of our more favorite characters.
Figure arts makes good ones.
But it's just like the characters are all sweet. I love the fight scenes on it. And it's not one of those animes, like, you think, like, it kind of get boring and derivative throughout the entirety, especially since it's actually a real long anime. But it kept my interest throughout pretty much the entirety of it, even though it's just guys just literally just punching each other in every episode. But it's sweet. It's fun.
I was in high school, and what was the thing? You just go home and watch it?
Like, this was like the anime. I went with a bunch of friends over the house, and we just sat there and watched it.
Yeah.
Like, we were excited about when each of the movies were coming out, all the video games. And it's just like, there's some animes I definitely will come back to a little bit more frequently than Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Z is the one that's just like, I will forever be thankful for getting me into anime. And then my next would actually be Guyver, the bio-boosted armor for number 3. Which I don't know if you've actually seen that one.
No, I have not.
It's the first Figma figure I actually got a hold of was the Guyver figure, which I would love to have got the other Max Factory ones, but sadly they're out of my price range now. But that anime, like, especially with the older one, like, I actually got introduced to that one for the live action one that they put out in the 80s. I think it was the 80s, late 80s, which had Mark Hamill in it, Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, which I actually thought was really sweet. And I'm like, there's a cartoon? I ended up finding that out and it was just awesome. Because it's super violent, the moves are sweet, the armor looks awesome. And they're fighting like weird alien people. The Zolonoids.
Solenoids? Is that what they were called?
Yeah, they're pretty much like mutated humans. They're like prototype humans. And then these Zololords are the people that the creators created everybody, and Zololords are like the pinnacle of evolution. If I remember the story correctly, it's been a little bit.
Been a while.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one. You got me on that one, Steve.
Yeah, it was like, we need to sit there and watch it. Like, the original one, I really loved the art style back when I first watched the old series. Even though it's one of those that didn't really fully end, just like the new one.
It didn't end?
Yeah, it kind of doesn't end. Like, on the new one, it ends with, like, him becoming a badass, and then it's just like, now we can finally stop the Zololords, and then you don't know what they do.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Yeah, but, like, it's just, like, the characters are really interesting. I love the fights, like, just how, like, super violent it gets. Especially with the outfits are looking cool. Like, the hero, like, dies in it twice.
Twice?
Yeah, because you're like, oh man, what's gonna happen? And then he comes back because that's just how good the Guyver suit is.
Sounds like Dragon Ball Z to me.
Yeah, it's like also one of the earlier times when I got introduced to heroes not being heroes because they want to be heroes. Is because of the situation that they got thrown in.
I've never seen it, so I can't say anything about it. I'm sorry. I failed you in this one.
It's awesome. Trust me. And then my number 2, which is actually funny, the same as his, which is Elfin League.
Yet again, if you watch my first one, you should have something to say about that show right now. I want to see it.
Because that anime is actually really good. It's also one of the first animes I remember buying way back when. Because a lot of the stuff was, a lot of the animes I seen like on Toonami and stuff, like I would pick those up. And then I got into actually reading some of like the anime magazines, like New Type. And then they would like introduce you to some of the animes in there. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was like they mentioned the anime a couple of times in there, and then they gave us a DVD to
Yeah, it was like.
check out the first episode.
Yeah, I remember.
And then we were watching the first episode. I'm like, okay, I'll go buy it. Went and bought it. I literally, in one day, went and bought the magazine, went home, watched it. Went out to Best Buy, bought the first DVD, came home, watched it. Went back to Best Buy, bought the rest of them, came home and watched it.
It was a quick decision right there, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was some money right there out of my pocket. But it was just how sweet it was. Because it's one of the first animes I really watched that's actually a very dark tone. It's a very, like, a mature anime.
Definitely mature. Like, yeah, you. Even on. They have it on Hulu right now, right?
I don't think so. It was on Netflix for a little while, but I don't think it's on there anymore. It's hard to find now.
Yeah, I think it might be on Hulu, but it's English. I mean, no, it's English dubbed, and it's like censored pretty bad. So it's like you can't see like.
Yeah, if you could just buy it, like it's not a very expensive anime. I don't think. It's also it's a very short one too, which is something that I can really appreciate because you can pretty much watch it easily in a day.
Yeah, 12 episodes.
Yeah, just about there. And the story is, so good with the girls, and they have the special arm abilities.
No spoilers, Steve.
Yeah, and then just like super violent things happen, but then they fall in love, but yet they don't remember things, and
Definitely, it's definitely one of those Japanese things because it's like, oh man, you're my cousin. Me love you long time.
Yeah, it's just, oh god, yeah. It's just like like the anime, like the main girl only says "new" because that's all she could say. And it's like it goes from being like super cute into like super dark.
And back
like
super
it
cute.
goes, be like a little bit cute again. Then it gets dark again, and it's just like the story just kept me. It's like one of the main animes that just the story kept me so invested. I had to keep watching. And then my number one, as some of you guys know that pay attention to super important reviews and just me in general, is Yu Hakusho.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
I do like Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. I also like card games, but
it's time to
duel. No, definitely Yu Hakusho, man. Me and
still favorite
shotgun.
Still a favorite thing. Like it's like he uses it what, twice?
Yeah, it's only a couple times. Like I think Genkai uses it actually more. But like it was initially I got into anime because of Dragon Ball Z, and then Yu Hakusho came out tsunami, and I started watching Yu Hakusho. I was like, "Where have you been all my life?"
It's a good.
Yeah, because mainly like the first season starts off kind of slow for the most part. Like they have some pretty good fights in it, but it's more just like building up the character and the overall universe for Yu Hakusho. And then you also get like the Saint Beast, where you get like their first like main villains, and you get introduced to the Tagoro brothers, which was at the point of the anime where I was just like, these episodes can't come out fast enough. Then we get to the Dark Tournament, which is by far probably my favorite fighting anime season ever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where actually that's when I got sucked into it. Because like Steve said, the first season was slow, and that's one of the things that was like kind of pushed it down my list. Is the first season was really slow.
Yep.
It was just a few fights, but then when it got to the Dark Tournament, you're like, oh man.
Yeah, just the fights were amazing. Like, and also what's cool about this animes too is, like my one problem with Dragon Ball Z is people have like different move sets, but it's essentially just guys shooting beams out of their hands for the most part.
That's
and they're just like more of their art style.
Goku goes like this.
Yeah, Vegeta goes
like
so shifts his hand a little bit. Gohan's like
goes
this.
like this.
Tien. Sword flare. Like it's just hand movements and beams. Which I love, don't get me wrong. That's why it's my number 4. But like this anime, it's like you go from like Yusuke's like traditional shoots the beam out of his finger and like shotgun and whatnot. Then Kuwabara has a beam sword. You're like, okay, it's still kind of traditional, but we'll keep going. Then you get people like Kurama that uses roses and flowers. Hiei, who uses swords super fast, is like a flaming dragon that comes out of his arm.
Favorite.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. And then like you get like some more beam guys like Shu. He's amazing.
Still don't.
You got like guys that use wind powers, and like guys that use grenades. Guys that just like he's just so strong. That's just what makes him like Taguro. Guys that's like super elasticy, mind control,
One Piece,
telepathy. Yeah, kind of like in the vein of One Piece, but it's just more interesting in my opinion.
No, we're not doing One Piece. I am not sitting watching 918 episodes.
Yeah, it's one of those like I want to start, but God, it'd take forever.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I let you down, but no. I can't watch 918 episodes now.
And it's also one of the animes too that like there's not really a season I don't like.
That's one thing about Dragon Ball Z that I didn't like. There were certain seasons, but this.
Yeah, there's like some that are just they weren't quite as interesting in others, but mainly like even the like I actually liked our Junior Saga in Dragon Ball Z. I actually thought that saga was actually pretty interesting, and it doesn't have anything to do with the manga. The other World Tournament was kind of like for the most part, and then there's like the Great Saiyaman. I like him, but for the most part, it's not as interesting. Well, on Yu Hakusho, like every season has like its own thing it's trying to do.
How many seasons though
awesome.
did Yu Hakusho have?
Oh, because what you got the original one with the Saint Beast, then you have the Dark Tournament, Sensui, and then the Three Kings. Which the Three Kings is where I would say the anime kind of like maybe falls a little bit because their tournament they have isn't nearly as good as the Dark Tournament, but you can't top the Dark Tournament.
So what's that? 5 seasons?
Just about because I think the Dark Tournament's like split up into 2.
Yeah. So that's 5 seasons. How many seasons of Dragon Ball Z have?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of filler in there, Steve.
There's a lot of time for it because especially since the anime was still going while the manga was going. Well, again, like Yu Hakusho was still kind of like it was still coming out here stateside.
I'm not knocking your number one. I'm just saying, it's
a little bit easier when it's not quite as long. But again, I can keep my interest a little bit longer.
Do you have any figures of Yu Hakusho, Steve?
God, I wish, because all there is mainly those expensive, like the statues. Which, if you guys know, I'm not quite as big a fan. Like I like my stuff to be posable. It's like I love X pluses. Don't get me wrong, beautiful toys. But I prefer to be able to pose them and stuff. Like,
you can move his arms like this way.
No, you can't.
This way. Yeah, you can.
That's not X plus.
Huh?
Stop looking at the wrong figures, Ernest.
I know, but I'm saying you
God.
can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You just grab it and you
just break it off and re-glue it on. You're good to go.
See, there's ways you can do this, Steve.
And then there's like the stateside figures, which don't look quite as good. So I'm like hoping some like legit like Figma or Figure Arts puts out Yu Hakusho's sometime. So I would hardcore buy those. But until then, sadly, we'll just have the entire series and all the movies.
You have all the movies?
I do have the movies. Even the ones that are done by different voice actors.
Oh, we don't talk about those.
The movie's pretty sweet, even though it kind of contradicts what
they don't exist.
The Three Kings saga was trying to do.
It's like whatever. GT. It does not exist.
But that is my top 10 favorite animes. If you guys have a different list, please let me know in the comment section below what your guys' favorite top 10 animes are. I would love to hear it.
You forgot your best honorable mention was the Naruto. Shippuden?
Where is he? There he is.
Yo, how can you not like Naruto, Steve?
First season's awesome. First series is pretty good. Like I love Naruto when he was a kid. Shippuden, on the other hand, lost my interest pretty quick.
But Steve, we're gonna have to do a review of this anime because there's so many people.
I'm not gonna be your friend just because you want to be Hokage. Stop it.
Power of friendship solves everything. I will be Hokage and I will save the world and it will be okay.
Manga's better. Just read the manga.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking you if you like Naruto. By all means, we all love different things in this world. I'm just not as big a fan.
Oh man, I can't wait until we do the Naruto and then we post it on the Facebook. And
it's like I wish I could. I haven't seen enough of Shippuden to really fully break it down.
I'm finishing watching it right now, so oh god.
I'll just be on the sidelines for that review.
I'm taking a shot in the mouth on this one, trust me.
But help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe to become a ranger today. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.